Hey, so welcome to another podcast episode of The Soulful Side of Life. I'm really looking forward to this episode because it's a little bit different from sit down, planned, well thought out podcast episodes. But I'll explain what I mean by this in a second. But today's episode is with Jerry Inzerillo. He is the Group CEO of Diriyah, a $63 billion project that's part of Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman's Vision 2030 initiative in Saudi Arabia's capital. The project is bringing 42 luxury hotels, a royal opera house, luxury residences, a Greg Norman design golf course, cultural centers, F&B, a boulevard that's the same length as Paris's Avenue des Champs-Élysées, and much more in a space of 28 square miles. It's quite the feat to be in charge of such a project, but Jerry makes it look like it's so easy. And simply, it's restoring the cultural or the ancestral home of the original Saudi state by adding touches of modernity without upsetting the history that's there. Jerry has an impressive resume, having been the president and CEO of IMG Artists. He was president of Kersner Entertainment Group, where he changed the reputation of One and Only and Atlantis hotel brands. He was the CEO of Sun City in South Africa. He is the vice chairman of Forbes Travel Guide, and he's had many other notable positions throughout his career. And in 2023, President Joe Biden awarded him with the Presidential Medal of Volunteerism and Service. I first met Jerry at a fashion show in Diriyah, and we passed each other, and he said something like, "Hello, I know you," and began listing my resume. And I had no idea who he was, and I introduced myself and I asked him where he was from, and he said, "You can't tell from my accent." And I said, "New York?" And he said, "Brooklyn." Of course, with all of his accomplishments that he has done and all of the people in his Rolodex, what sticks out to me the most about Jerry is that one, he's humble. His Brooklyn accent also stands out. And two, he does his homework and he pays attention to the people around him, and he's humble. And that probably comes from being from humble means. He's able to be relatable and be on the same level with anyone that he's talking to and manage what God has placed in his hands. And he's had some heavy tasks that God has given him. This isn't a formal podcast interview, as I was saying before. Rather, it's two moments that I've had with Jerry, and I wanted to put our conversations into one episode. So forgive the mixed match background noise and enjoy this podcast episode with Jerry Inzerillo, where I ask him questions about leading this big project of Diriyah. How did a boy from Brooklyn get all of these blessings and responsibility to what he has to say to those who don't think that he and his executive team will pull off this massive project, as well as people who are critical on all of these giga and mega projects that are taken off around the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, people who are critical that they won't pull it off by 2030. I asked Jerry his thoughts on that. So enjoy this podcast episode and be inspired by how much God will bless one person with. And it seems like such a lot, but Jerry's able to do it and get the job done. And I think that's quite inspiring. So enjoy. How does a kid from Brooklyn get to be Group CEO of Diriyah?
Well, it's a minor miracle. or if you're spiritual like you and I are, it's a blessing.
Yeah.
So, I come from a good family, but a very poor family. And I started working in the hotels when I was a boy of 13 at night. And I love to serve.
Wow.
I love taking care of people. I love joy. I love festivity. And then I said, I'm going to go to school for this. To go to college. Went to hotel administration, University of Nevada, Las Vegas. But out of my joy of serving, I got good at what I did. It's a reward from God.
Absolutely.
Okay, you serve, I'll make sure you're okay. We have a saying in our family, man gives awards, God gives rewards. Allah gives rewards. So now, after 50 years, maybe we know what we're doing. But when I saw Vision 2030, I said, this is real vision. And one of the anchors is tourism. And I love all the young Saudis, young men and women, especially the young women, because I want them to be the best fulfillment of themselves and be a superstar like you. So to be here and to work with all these young, dynamic people is a big source of energy for me, and that's how we got here.
If you were sitting on a plane beside someone who doesn't know much about Saudi, how would you describe what you're doing here?
Yeah, I think it depends how long the flight is, right?
Yeah.
But I think if it was, if someone woke up and they only had 1 minute, I would say this is a G20 country with young, dynamic, forward-thinking, quality of life leader and leadership on his council of ministers. But because the kingdom wasn't open to tourism until September 2019, and remember, we lost 2 years because of COVID, there was misconceptions. There was topographical misconceptions. Oh, it's just deserts and camel and stuff. People don't know it snows in Saudi Arabia, and we're hosting the Asian Winter Games in 2029. So it's a very large country, 5 times the size of California, controls 45% of the Red Sea, has 8 UNESCO sites, right? Has the biggest sand desert, the biggest palm grove. So come to a beautiful country, interact with warm, hospitable, genuine, warm and hospitable people, and see where Arabia started. And then the plane lands.
I hope that Americans come here. If they're going to Dubai, they can come here.
Oh, they will. It's just a matter of time. They're going to come because our brothers and sisters in Dubai did a fabulous job. And I've been in Dubai since 1991, so I've seen the vision. But Dubai, as fabulous as it is, isn't the birthplace of Arabia.
That's true.
Saudi's 300 years old.
It is.
So when people see all the offerings here, now Dubai, the Emirates, the rest of the GCC, all those Arab nations are very hospitable, right? So Saudi. But now this is a G20 country. Riyadh is the mothership of that G20 country. And then remember, we're fortunate in the kingdom because we're the custodian of the 2 holy mosques of Mecca and Medina. So for 2 billion plus Muslims, this is the fulfillment of your life dream to do a pilgrimage at one point. But in the old days, you had to do your pilgrimage and leave. Now, you could stay 90 days and enjoy the rest of the kingdom. So we feel very positive about the future.
So what opportunities will Diriyah's growth bring to young people since it's a population of young people?
Yeah, this is probably one of our strengths because, as you know, over 70% of the population is under 35. And I affectionately say that on my 2,000 staff, 85% is Saudi, 39% is Saudi women, which I just mentioned, 16% of them are in management. Full KPIs, full salaries, not like some other countries. 14% of my staff are from Diriyah. But to answer your question, the average age of the 2,000 is 31 years old.
Wow.
It's a very young staff. Now, if you take me out of the average, it probably drops to 24. But now what's happening is that we're finding that Riyadh in particular is growing about 100,000 people a year just on young Saudis returning home, especially the women, because now they feel they have a bright future. And the Crown Prince has said, come home, you have a bright future. So now even 6 years ago,
a lot of the girls at the time, or young women, Mama, Papa, I want to come home. Well, you can't drive, you can't really work in unilateral positions instead of stereotypical positions. But since this Crown Prince, nope. So now these young women and these men are coming home, but they're coming home with not only bachelors of science, they're coming home with masters and doctorates. We have several doctorates here tonight. So with the young people, from an American point of view, like President Obama used to say, they're fired up and ready to go. And that positivity is carrying the whole country right now, carrying the whole kingdom.
I was having dinner with your friend Kurt last night, and he was talking about your leadership to train, like pushing training, like when you opened One and Only in the Bahamas, I think it was. Atlantis. So how are you pushing that training with the Saudis here for Diriyah?
Well, we're very, very fortunate because His Royal Highness believes very deeply in the development of Saudi youth. But he believes in it right from kindergarten, right? So now what we're doing in Diriyah, 14% of our staff are from Diriyah. So if they require education, high school, college, and we see that they want to serve and come into the sector of tourism, we will sponsor that. We're already teaching language, hotel administration, thanks to the leadership of our great Minister of Tourism, Ahmed Al-Khatib. We're building the largest school of hotel administration in Gidea, one of our great giga projects on the other side of Riyadh. But I believe in not only being the best embodiment of yourself, man or woman, boy or girl, but the Crown Prince has given us more funds for training than I've ever had in my career, because he knows the nation is young, ambitious, positive, optimistic, and he wants them to have all the tools to be in leadership. So he's amazing that way, and we're putting thousands of people through our training programs.
The 7 hotels that are being unveiled today, what was the strategy behind bringing those brands?
Yes, well, with the 40 hotels, 42 hotels, they're less than 7,000 keys. So Diriyah, Riyadh is for everybody, every average rate range, right? But Diriyah, we don't want to make Diriyah Disney, even though we love Disney. Gidea, our other giga project, is built for larger numbers, pop culture. Diriyah is a cultural heritage jewel. So the hotels are meant to be in the 5-star range, smaller. All the hotels we announced, 60 rooms, 80 rooms, 120 rooms. We'll have a few at 200 rooms, but it's meant to be the higher end of the market, because we have to control the amount of people that come in and out, because it's priceless as a UNESCO site, as an asset.
What do you have to say to the pessimists who are thinking Saudi's too ambitious and may not complete something like Diriyah, one of these giga projects?
Yeah, we're not naive, and we're not defensive, and we're very proud. So we don't even mind criticism, providing the criticism is fair. In other words, if you've never been here and you criticize, we consider that unfair. But if you came and you made observations that are critical, we accept your observations. Now, going back to your question, if someone said, well, your vision for 2030 is very aspirational, can you build it, right? What we said is, well, we opened $1 billion worth of assets. In 2022, we opened $1 billion worth of assets in 2023. Next year, when you're with us, what we're revealing, the new King Salman Boulevard, and all the big iconic assets, we groundbreak all at the same time. The new Opera House, which you'll see tonight in the renderings, the new 20,000-seat arena, the new King Salman Mosque, the new contemporary, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia Contemporary Art Museum, the new convention center. We'll do the holograms to show, because it'll take a few years to build those assets. So what I say is that if you feel that the projects are ambitious, come visit us and look for yourself, because here it is. If you're standing in it, when are you going to have your exhibition strategy? Well, you're standing in it, right? So would you not give, not you, but whatever pessimist there is, would you not give the Crown Prince credit for executing, right? Well, we want quality of life. So we have it in Vision 2030 to get Saudis outdoors 3 times a week. Picnic, walk, run, horseback ride, do this. Well, if we already put in 9 kilometers of parks, and we've already planted 6 million trees, doesn't the Crown Prince get credit for moving people outside with beautiful parks? Doesn't the Crown Prince get credit for encouraging people to do some sort of sport?
Yes.
You know, to be outside. So we consider that quality of life. Now, some may say sport washing, others will say the plans are too grandiose, but come and see for yourself. Now, if you come and you feel that the ambition is overarching, then
That's you.
say it.
Yeah.
But I think what we're doing is we're working very passionately hard to fulfill that vision, and look what we're accomplishing year on year.
Great things. Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing how it.
You'll be with us the whole
expands
step of the
over
way.
time. I'm looking forward to it. Good to see you.
See you more. We'll see you more this evening.
I hope that you enjoyed this podcast episode and that you have found a soulful connection to the conversation. God bless you, and until the next episode, go bless somebody else.